Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Hi, boys and girls, if you're watching.
Hi,
Ben.
And hi, Linda. It's really good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I was just in the art center yesterday, and it's a sad sight to see that preschool hallway so dark and lonely.
It is. I was in there today, and it's really lonely. It's really sad. And the rooms, they're not happy. We're missing these children so much.
Definitely. Well, I think what we're going to do today for the next few minutes is look at some of the artwork that the children have made, either at the art center or possibly at home, right?
I think most of it's probably from the art center, from their classes.
Well, and traditionally, the art center preschool and kindergarten would have an exhibition in the middle of April, and it would be in the galleries, and you and your awesome team of teachers put it all together, mount it all on mat board, and put a jolt of energy and color into that space, just like that. It's really
well. It is the most colorful exhibit in the galleries.
Always.
Yes.
Always. And yeah, and I don't know how many years we've been doing a preschool kindergarten exhibition, but as long as I've been here, I can remember that happening.
Actually, it started over in the old building.
Oh boy.
So that we didn't, sometimes some years, because of the constraints of when we had space, we could have it in the gallery that they had there, but sometimes we just had it on the doors. We had to post it on the doors into the big performance area, and maybe it lasted a day.
Oh wow.
Jeez. Yeah, that was a trick. But we always had got to have a reception for our families, and I don't have my reception food here. Oh, shucks.
No animal crackers?
No animal crackers on a vanilla wafer, or some punch, or some or grapes and strawberries. Doggone it all.
Well, I have some kind of punch in my glass. I'll drink for the both of us.
Okay. It might be the kind of punch we're going to need at the end of the evening.
Yeah, I've been going through it seems like lately. Hey, well, let's see if we can pull up the webpage. So since we didn't get to have the exhibition like we wanted in the spaces, you and your preschool team put together an online exhibition. And for those of you watching, you can go to the Art Center's website and see, I don't know how many, maybe 50 or so.
There's 50 some.
Yeah, and even if I would encourage anybody that hasn't seen, even if you don't have a child in this current class, it's, if you need something to make you smile, if this doesn't do it, then I don't know what to tell you.
It's colorful. It's still colorful.
Yep. Yeah, so we want to click through some of these, and maybe what you could do is share a little bit about the preschool program and some of the projects and the lessons that art and creativity are at the core of.
Well, I'm totally convinced that we have to have art. It's not just music, and it's not just the visual arts, but music and drama and theater and dance and all the literature, that all goes together. That's part of the arts. I think that's what makes us a culture, that makes our culture. And so in this particular exhibit, it's primarily the visual art part, but it all goes together, and we learn so much from it. There's movement in it. There's mental development. We learn by doing things. There's the language and literacy, because we can make stories from our pictures and things like that. And he's learning his alphabet there. Those are his initials. And guess what? The first letters that most children learn are their names. And that's the way it should be. We've got thinking skills, because we have to solve problems with many of our things. Oh, I bet there's a story in that. I bet there's a big story in that one. But then there's the science and the creative creative development, and how creative development and this creativity goes so much with science. They're just so much alike. They're social and emotional. There's sensory things, and how so often we can get our hands in some of these things, and about the preschool. Stop at this first, at that first line, Ben. Can you go back? That next picture, that one. That's, and one thing we were able to do at the art center, that is a picture, that's the little girls who made a Valentine, and all the children got to make a Valentine, and they used the printing press that we brought up with Dayon. Our artist in residence, came and spent the whole day, 2 days actually, in our classes, so the children could actually do a print with a press. We do other kinds of printing, and there's different kinds of printing, but this one just happens to be the Valentine, and then they were able to send it home to their families. So that was, some of the things we get to do just because we're at the art center too. And some people like to have us do these messy things at the art center so they don't have to do them at home. And look, the side next one, oh, there's a story. There's a story, was that one, I think. I believe that is Rapunzel in a blue castle.
Yep.
I think it was painted when we had Castle Week at school. But there's, bringing in stories that the children have heard, or making stories. And you can see that really does show that one.
Yeah. Well, aside from the artwork that they're making, some of these faces.
That's the one who didn't want to smile through her mom. Her mom said, "Oh, give me a nice face," and she said, "No way,
no, not having it."
Yes, not having any of it today.
So
but
good.
If you notice, the kids look pretty happy with their artwork.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I working in that building. That's the one thing you can count on oozing out of that room is happiness. You can hear it. You can hear it throughout the building. And
oh yeah, we can be loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's not a whole lot of inside voices. They're your voices. They're kids' voices.
Yep. Well, what's going on here with Ruth? This piece.
Well, I would guess it's a piece that was made out of strips of paper, and I'm not exactly sure, but do you see a story in that, Ben?
No.
I do. I see ladders, and who knows? I don't know. Ruth didn't tell me what that one was, but I can see ladders there. It's possible that over here in that yellow, that could be a fire. That could have been on firefighter day or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know, but Ruth had an idea, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yep.
These, where the line you are right now, the top line, there's some math in there and there's some science in there, because there's 2 graded chalk pictures. There's another one, the two frames down. Well, that one is a print. That's another kind of a print, but it's also shapes. I'll be darned. How about that? And the scientist, because look how those colors mixed.
Right.
Nice one. Then the one that you just passed and the next one over, those are graded chalk. And that's really scientific, because they have to grate chalk and it floats on the water, and then they make a print on that. So how does that work? How does that work?
Right. And you think, so what's the process? So you guys are like grading chalk into a shallow
big tub of water.
Yeah.
And they have a screen, like it's a heavy, it's like screen for your screen. Or there's round discs that have a handle on them that they can rub drawing chalk on, and it floats on the water until they put the paper in it, and then the chalk comes up on the paper. Well, if you do a second print, you get a ghost print. And it looks, then you can compare the two. How do they look? And it's usually the ghost print has more marbling in it because it's not quite as thick. They like to scrape. They like to grate that chalk. They really like to grate the chalk. And so then down here on the next row, there's the first one, the one first on the left, that is centrifugal force because that's made with a salad spinner. I think the one below it is a chalk grated. It might be a tempera painting too, but that's but they put the piece of the paper plate in a salad spinner and spin the heck out of it. Well, that's centrifugal force. Even though we might have mentioned the word centrifugal force, it's making it go around and around. You know, they're not going to go and say, hey, Mom, we did physics today because we had centrifugal force going on. Right. The far end over here, that's a story. He had to design what he wanted to make. He had to write a story about it. And then he had to, from his design, he went and he created his bowling pin. So how things, you make things happen. It's part of the scientific approach, and it's literacy because it's a beginning, the middle part, the end part. But
at the core of it, I've heard you many, many, many times talk about play.
Oh man. Yes.
And that's kind of at the center of all of these projects, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We sometimes make our kids grow up so fast. You know, we live a long life and they have to be grown up before they're 5 years old. I don't think so. We need to get so much play, but I bet there's a story with that. That looks like an architect place. They started doing some printing with blocks and then drew from it. I bet there's a good story with that one too.
Yeah.
I bet there's a good story with most of these if you really want to know the truth.
Yeah, they're not short on stories, I think.
No, there's another one. I think that was Castle Week. And yep. I think Barani probably was making a castle of his own.
What is Castle Week?
Oh, well, we have a large castle that was made by a former student's dad, who is an architect, and he made this castle that is quite large. You can easily fit 4 kids in it. It has a dungeon in it. It has the tower. It has the tower things. What are they called on a castle? I don't know.
Fire?
Those things. Yeah, whatever. And so the kids, they have dress up clothes with kind of old-fashioned things. Royalty comes out. Oh, there's a ceramic piece. So with we have the ability with the ceramic studio to do some clay. We do clay other times too, because you know what, that's really good social emotional thing, because if you're frustrated, just get a bunch of clay and just pound on it, and it's really good as an adult too, talking, and that's from experience. Sometimes you just have to do that. And but sometimes we're able to glaze it and fire it and put it in the kiln. We go have a tour of the ceramic studio. They see a kiln, they see what it looks like, they see the work before and then afterwards, and how it changes and things like that. And that's a 3-dimensional thing, adding 3-dimensional work. There's some other things down in here that are 3-dimensional. Oh, there's a sculpture. Now this is problem solving, because I'm sure this is from the junk box, and there is so much stuff in that junk box, and who knows what it is. And they have scissors and they have tape, and I have to buy masking tape by the cases because they go through so much. But the problem solving, I call that whole junk box area, I creation station, but I call it the junk box, and I call it brain food, because they have to figure, there's so much that comes out, and then what they have possibly have something in their mind of what they want to make, and it might not turn out the way they want to, but then there's something else that turns into something else. You know, as an artist and as a creative person, these kids can go through so much changes, and that's going to the point of filling up a whole page. Yeah. It's not Picasso would not have been, he wouldn't have seen that as, it had more than 3 lines in it.
Yeah,
But
she's not bashful. She
no,
filled
she's
it up.
not. No, she spent a whole lot of time. And she's got, the different spaces, how there's different spaces in there.
Oh man.
Look at these happy kids. Oh, that's a piece of pizza. On the days they made pizza, we cooked our own pizzas. They had created their own. We had several things that they could put on their pizzas, but then they also could do a collage of their pizza, make their pizza and take it home. I hope none of you tried to eat it.
Oh man. Is this another salad spinner?
No, that is a record player. See, we do history, record player with a paper plate on the record player. See the texture in that? You can even see the texture in that here. Well, there's a vocabulary word. They've got a word and they can feel that when the marker is on that plate as it's spinning on the record player. But I can remember a long time ago, I had a big 33 old vinyl, which I still have, that I had at school one day. And this child came to me and says, "That is the biggest CD I've ever seen." And of course now what is a record player? What did they do with a record player? Well, we do art with a record player.
It's in the preschool.
It's in the preschool. We have several. And let me tell you, those record players are hard to come by.
Yeah. And you guys work them out. They get a good workout.
We do.
In there.
We work them out. There's a story there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wow.
And, when you have a picture and you dictate the story or you write the story, that there becomes a story because reading is written down talk. And so if you write it exactly the way the child says it to you, don't worry about vocabulary, don't worry about grammar or anything like that. But you write it that way, and by golly, they're going to go back and read it. And there's the beginnings of reading. This one, that is a child who they had acted out the story of the 3 billy goats gruff. And that is, he has taken that 3 billy goats gruff story. It's in picture form or written down on his paper. But you see the grass, you see the lake, you see he's built a bridge over it. And I think he must be the troll because they acted it out. So he's all this remembering things and how that goes with helping of learning. And if you act out a story, you really live it. You've been involved in it. You've lived it. And
at that age, everything is sort of coming together to allow something like that to happen, right? Where they're still free in a way to explore like that. And the way you guys could explore stories and storytelling. I mean, there's so many layers to that image right there. That's really special, I think. It's really moving.
Well, you know what? He's a really happy troll. Oh my gosh, look at the texture in that. And look at the shapes. Look at all the different things. And look at the face. Is that cute?
God.
Love it.
This is going to break the internet.
Yeah, they might. This whole thing's going to break the internet because these are the cutest kids. There's another story. He's written it to his mom. Now look, he's 4. He's got a pictures. What do you think that is? It's on black paper. I bet it's outer space, maybe.
I don't know. I was thinking some kind of rainbow, some kind of fat rainbow and sunshine rolling down the road.
Who knows? I don't know. All right, how are we doing here? Okay, there's our dancer with their collage.
I would bet a lot of the children that are in the preschool might also be exploring other things at the art center, like the dance program.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. It's so fun to see them as they get older and they do older classes and do the theater things and all those kind of things. It's really fun to see all that. It really makes my heart sing. Oh, there's that's a lemon cake. There's a scientist there too. It's a lemon birthday cake with the blue sky. You see the candles? And do you see that she's also a scientist, because look at what those two colors make together. There's green in the middle. That could be the tablecloth or whatever. Who knows? All
Awesome.
right. We're going to have to scroll through. We're probably going to get caught up.
Yeah.
Time. Oh, there's a story. There's another story. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Do you hear much from the families or children now that we're not together?
Well, yes, some. I think the teachers, each individual class is trying, physics, that's physics. He had to climb on a ladder with a sock full of sand dipped in paint and drop it off the ladder. So he didn't go home and tell his folks that he had a physics lesson, that he did a physics lesson that day, but Galileo would have been pleased. You see the splats in that too? That's kind of fun too.
Oh yeah.
I see another chalk drawing. Oh, there's a making a body, their own self. Oh, I see collages, and I see there's a sculpture, another dinosaur. That is this, instead of the three bears, that's the three trees. Baby bear, middle mama bear, and baby tree, mama tree, middle-sized tree, and great big tree being held in your teeth.
Oh, dang.
Oh, there's the I think that's Stegosaurus. And look at the spikes. Remember that Stegosaurus has the bony plates on its back.
Right.
On the tail, he's got the bony spikes. And I think that is exactly what that is. I'm sure that's what that is.
Well,
how are we doing here? Are we gonna?
We're doing just fine. I think.
Okay.
The Facebook police will tell us when we have to leave.
Okay.
Boy, Cindy couldn't show just one. She wanted to sneak a bunch in.
She has her own gallery.
Well, yeah.
Big variety.
Looking at these and of course my youngest boy went through the preschool program, years ago.
Yes, he did.
Some of these look familiar, these projects, but I think all the artists that I get to work with in the gallery and through the art center, and looking at artwork like this and having participated in different ways with the preschool, it's the most genuine form of creativity that I think will ever exist. Well,
they feel pretty free. And these activities are very open-ended, so they can do, it doesn't have to look like something. Oh, there's another ceramic piece.
But the beauty of what you and your team do is provide that opportunity for the children to be free.
Yes.
You'll never see a coloring book in those classrooms.
No. You will not. Lots of empty paper.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one with a whole gallery.
Yeah.
Man. He's got his whole gallery.
He looks pretty pleased.
I think he does. There's a scientist. See how those colors mixed? I bet there's only 3 colors out there, and look at all the other colors in there.
Yep.
He can make new things. We got through it.
We made it. We made it all the way through. Does Marlo have any questions for us?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them, and I haven't even been able to read them. I don't have a clue what they say.
You're supposed to be doing that because I can't see them.
I'm not doing my job. Marlo, if you saw a question come in and you have a question with our last few minutes, somebody has a question, put it on the chat. Oh, Ben, thank you for doing this. This is so fun. And this is one of the best. This is just one of the best exhibits. Ted Johnson, he always comes in and he's so excited.
Yeah.
He's always so excited to see the preschool exhibit. He's written a letter to the editor several years ago that this is the best thing. This is where it all starts. This is where it all starts. And whether we don't have a Picasso here, we might not have another Beethoven, we might not have another Misty Copeland, but they have the creativity. They have been exposed to the creativity and appreciate the creativity that they have within themselves.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree with you more that it does start there. And I think a place like the Art Center, where you have so many facets of the arts happening all the time at full speed, and the way I've always thought about the way the preschool it's like a treasure box, and there can be somebody rehearsing in the theater. You will take them down, or there'll be something happening in the gallery, and you'll take them in there.
Right.
Any of the studios. I mean, what a blessing to be able to have those resources available for children that may not ever see it again, or that they may not have that kind of opportunity. So I think you and your team, you guys are the cornerstone of Lawrence Art Center.
Well, thank you.
That
Those are
preschool
very
program.
nice words that you said.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm not fluffing feathers here. I've said it to people. We have artists coming to the Art Center from all over the world, and peeking through the windows in the door at the preschool. Without a doubt, every single person, it puts a smile on their face.
Yep. We try to do that.
Yeah. Well,
We try to do that.
you do a very good job with it.
Thank you, Ben.
And you have great teachers.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. You bet we do. We've got a great team. We work well together.
Yep.
And they've been hanging around for a while, so they must like what we're doing. And you know what? We have the best kids and the best families in town. That I'm sure of.
Yep. And I'm gonna guess they're all missing you guys.
Oh. And the teachers are just beside themselves missing the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get back together soon, though.
Yeah.
Are you ready to? It's time to sign off.
I think we did what we said we were going to do. I just encourage everybody to go to the Art Center's website to see all of the pictures. You can spend more time with them, and there's lots of other things to do on the Art Center's website while we're all sort of hunkered down in our homes. But yeah, this has been great. It's been really refreshing to spend more time with this work and to spend time with you talking about it. It does my heart good.
Well, thanks, Ben. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, boys and girls. It's always good to see you.